This podcast is sponsored by the book Eat Meat or Don't by Bo Bennett, PhD. Explore the critical thinking behind our dietary choices and discover the moral arguments for and against eating meat. Available now at sentiocentrism.com.
Understanding consumer rights in meat labeling. What shoppers need to know. Learn about your rights as a meat buyer, common label meanings, and how to make ethical, informed choices at the grocery store. Consumer rights in meat labeling. What you need to know. Hey, have you ever stood in front of the meat section at the grocery store, picked up a pack, and felt totally confused by all the labels? Organic, grass-fed, natural, antibiotic-free. It's like a maze. But here's the thing. As a consumer, you have rights when it comes to meat labeling, and understanding those rights can help you make choices that align with your values, budget, and even health goals. So let's talk about why meat labeling matters and what you should look out for. More importantly, why aren't these labels always clear or consistent? Spoiler: the regulations surrounding meat labeling are surprisingly complicated, and sometimes companies capitalize on that ambiguity. Why are meat labels so confusing? For starters, there's no single global standard for meat labeling, and in the U.S., multiple agencies oversee this. The USDA, United States Department of Agriculture, the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, and even state officials. Each has different rules about what can be claimed on packages. For instance, the USDA regulates labels like grass-fed or organic for meat, while the FDA mostly handles labeling for foods in general. Here are some common labels you'll see and what they truly mean. Organic. This means the animal was raised on organic feed without synthetic pesticides or fertilizers, and no antibiotics or hormones were used. The farm itself had to meet organic certification standards. Grass-fed. The animal's diet was mostly grass or forage. However, there's no fixed USDA definition about how long the animal must be fed grass or how much, so grass-fed meat can still have some grain in the diet. Natural. This is one of the vaguest terms. The USDA defines natural as minimally processed with no artificial ingredients, but it doesn't address anything about how the animal was raised or fed. Antibiotic-free. Sounds straightforward, but in some cases, this label may not be confirmed through government standards. And sometimes labels just say, raised without antibiotics, which means the animal was never given antibiotics. But that doesn't mean the meat is healthier or safer. What are your consumer rights? As a shopper, your primary right is to be informed and not misled. The USDA and the Federal Trade Commission require truthful labeling, but enforcement can be uneven. Misleading or false claims can be reported, and sometimes consumers band together for class action lawsuits against companies making deceptive claims. So when you see a label claiming 100% grass-fed or free-range, you should be able to expect certain standards. But unless the label references a verified certification, it's worth double-checking. Ideally, transparency from the producer is key. The ethical layer. Sentio what? This conversation isn't just about facts and figures. It ties into deeper issues like sentiocentrism, which is essentially about considering the interests and welfare of sentient beings. In this case, animals raised for meat. It influences how many people think about ethical eating, plant-based diets, clean meat, which is lab-grown, and of course, weighing the pros and cons of eating meat overall. When consumers know exactly what they're buying, it empowers them to make choices consistent with their ethical stands. For some, that means looking for labels that confirm higher welfare standards, or opting for meat alternatives. For others, it's about supporting sustainable farming. How can you protect yourself as a consumer? Do your research. Know the meaning behind common labels before making your purchase. Look for third-party certifications. These include USDA Organic, Animal Welfare Approved, or Global Animal Partnership. Shop local or from trusted sources. Farmers markets or direct-to-consumer farms often provide more transparency about their practices. Ask questions. Don't be shy to ask your butcher or grocer about where the meat comes from and how it's raised. By being informed and proactive, you can help push the market toward clearer, more honest meat labeling standards and that benefits everyone. A final thought. The debate over whether to eat meat at all is ongoing, loaded with arguments for and against eating meat. Ethical eating trends and plant-based diets have been gaining traction, while innovations like clean meat offer new alternatives. Whatever path you choose, knowing your rights and the transparency you deserve when buying meat is essential. If you want to learn more about this complex and fascinating ethical discussion, check out Eat Meat or Don't. It's a great resource that goes beyond labels to help you explore the many layers involved in eating meat in today's world. Remember, the power is in your hands as a consumer. Being informed means you're taking control of your choices, and that's a pretty good feeling.